Dear students, in our first class about function overloading, we have discussed the definition of function overloading and definition and declaration of function overloading. And I have given the syntax of function overloading and one example. Now come to the advantages of function overloading, that is need of function overloading. Need of function overloading. Need of function overloading. This can also be called as advantages of function overloading. You may get a question in two ways. First is write about the need of function overloading, and in one more way you will going to get a question, that is write the advantages of function overloading. For both the things you need to write the same answer which I am going to right now. Advantages of function overloading. The first point of the advantages or need of function overloading is that the first point is code execution. Code execution is faster. Code means, dear students, you have already aware of coding. Code means the program whichever you will be going to write. That thing we can call it as the code. And execution of your program will be called as code execution. You will execute your program to get the result of the program what you have coded. Okay, so that is called as execution. This execution, code execution means execution of a program is faster. Okay, execution of a program is faster. Next point, it is easier to understand the information and debug. Okay, the information what you have written, that is mean the code what you have written, what you have given, that is called as information. So with the help of function overloading, it is easier to understand. Here code execution is faster, then it is easier to understand the information and debug the program what you have written, that is called as information. Okay, easier to understand the information and easier to debug. Debug means clearing errors. Debugging means if your program is having errors, then you will going to clear those errors. That process is called as debugging. Okay, cleaning errors is called as debugging. Next, code maintenance. Code maintenance is easy. Okay, maintenance of your code, the code which you have written, maintaining that code is easy. Okay, and this function overloading, it easier interface. I will explain you after writing. Easier interface between the program and real world objects. Between the program and real world objects. Okay, easier interface. I am explaining often and often regarding interface. Interface means it is a pathway between the two things, or it is a communication process between the two things, or it is a bridge between the two things, is called as interface. So function overloading is an interface between the program and the real world objects. Okay, so these are the four main advantages of function overloading. The first thing is code execution is easier. Next thing is easier to understand the information and debug. Third thing is code maintenance is easy. And the last thing is it is an easier interface between the program and the real world objects. Now come we shall see which are the disadvantages of function overloading. See about the disadvantages of function overloading. That means restrictions on overloaded function. Restrictions on overloaded functions. This can also be called as the disadvantages of overloaded function. Okay, restrictions of overloaded functions. Come we shall see what are the restrictions there we can see on the overloaded function. The first thing is in function, okay, a set of overloaded function, a set of overloaded functions must have or must have different argument list. Different argument list means we will take, I will give you an example, int sum. Okay, then we will take int a, then int b. These are arguments. Then float sum, and this we will take float x, then float y. This is what here the disadvantage is in a function. Okay, set of overloaded functions, two or overloaded function must have different argument list. Argument list should be different. Here integer type argument is there, here float type argument is there. Here variable name is different, here variable name is different. This is called as different argument list. Come we shall see the next point. The last point is that if type def is used to name a function, is used for naming function, is used for naming function, then okay, then the functions okay, should not be considered as, and the functions should not be considered as different. Okay, what is type def? Okay, later we will go into discuss. When type def is having a detailed study, then you will understand what is type def. Okay, here just to remember, type def is used for naming a function. At the time, we should not consider the function as different. We have to consider all the functions as the same function itself. So this is regarding the disadvantages of function overloading. Dear students, now we are going to discuss some other functions in the class. Other functions in the class. other functions in the class. So we shall see which are these other functions we will use in the class. See, the member functions may be defined. The member functions may be defined inside or outside the class definition. It may be defined, the member functions, they may be defined either inside the class definition or outside the class definition. Outside the class definition. Either inside the class definition or outside the class definition. Okay. Then one such function used inside the class definition, used inside the class definition is inline function. Okay. Some other type of functions. In these functions, here what we have explaining is a function, either that function, the data members which can be used either inside the class definition or outside the class definition. But here a function which is used inside the class definition, okay, and that type of a function will be called as an inline function. Come, we shall see what is meant by inline function. Inline function, okay, it is a special type of function. It is a special type of function. Okay, inline function is a special type of function whose body is inserted in the place where it is called, okay, instead of transferring control to the function, okay, it is a special type of function. Inline function is a special type of function whose body is inserted in the place where it is called, the function call, where the function call happens. In the same place only the body of this inline function is inserted, okay, instead of moving the control to function. Okay, instead of moving control to function, the body of a function itself is inserted where the function is called. Okay, so this type of a function we can call it as an inline function. So regarding inline functions, we have few more points. Come, we shall see what are those points. The next point is inline function definition. Inline function definition starts with keyword inline. Okay, inline function always uses a keyword inline. What is meant by keyword? It is a predefined word. We cannot give our option or our choice, because it is a keyword. It starts with only function by name, key by the keyword in line. Okay. Next point. The inline function should be defined. The inline function should be defined inline function should be defined before all the functions, call it. Okay, before the inline function getting called by other functions, okay, the inline function have to be defined before it was called. Next point. The compiler replaces the function call statement. The compiler replaces the function call statement. The function call statement with the function statement with the function code itself. With the function code itself, and this can be called as expansion. And then the compiler it compiles the entire code. Compiles the entire code. Okay, here the compiler, okay, it will replace the function call statement, the statement which is used to call the function. Okay, and that function is replaced by function code with the help of a compiler. Then after that, the code will going to be compiled. So these are few points about the function overloading, and we have left with the last point, that is they run little faster than normal function as function call as function calling overloads are saved. Okay, these inline functions, they run little faster than the normal function. Inline function will run faster than the normal function, and whichever the calling functions are overloaded, and that overloaded functions are going to be saved with the help of the inline function. So we have understood regarding today's class, and in our tomorrow class we have left with only one thing, that is the friend function. Okay, advantages of inline function, disadvantages of inline function, then friend function. So in our next class we are going to finish the function overloading. If you have any doubts regarding today's class, you can ask me personally.